Good morning to all.
This meeting is being recorded.
Perfect. So again, good morning to all. I'm Asetila Köstinger. We will be doing today together customer discovery. It is not rocket science because I know you have been in the startup world for a while, but we will do it from the new market point of view. Can you see my slides?
Yes, perfectly.
Very good. So my name is Asetila Köstinger. I am located in Vienna, Austria. I hope I can also host you here. Because if you start entering the German market, the smaller sister of the German market is Austria, and then the other one is Switzerland. So hopefully I'll see you here. I am an innovation economist by training and an impact entrepreneur by choice. I'm also an enterprise facilitator and coach. And the last 2 years also, I act as a business Angelina. I'm not an angel, I'm an Angelina. And you can follow me, and my hashtags are dare, care, share, because I really believe we have to dare to do new things, care for others and the planet, and share our ideas and our time. And one new project I'm running now, it's called the Good Startup School. Good. Yeah, I have multifaceted. I have a startup which produces geothermal energy. I also have some startup initiatives. I am the community lead of Techstars in Austria and in the Western Balkans. I have also small kind of accelerators like SDG Innovation Lab. I have taught with Steve Blank and Alexander Osterwalder. Together, Steve Blank's his program as the first one in Central.
Ne kadar geç kalktın. Ne güzel, iyi uyudun mu?
Günaydın. Well, I have participated in different pitch events as with my startup. I am a prize. This is the Berlin Startup Night. I wanted to show you.
Benim şimdi şurada bir goy bir saat işim var da.
Gökmen, can you please mute yourself?
Bir organize edebilirsin ya da sonra yapabiliriz, nasıl istersen.
Yes, thank you. So this is a Startup Night. Berlin is a really huge event. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Good. So, I am an award-winning consultant and coach, and I wanted to show you that the German also for us, Austrian, the German-speaking market is really huge and has a great potential, and especially for you guys coming from other countries. Now, before we start with the customer discovery, I'd like that each of you unmute yourself very shortly and tell us one yourself, very short, and one-liner about your startup. So to get to know each other, I get to know you, and to kick it off right. So I can see first one in my screen, Leroy. Leroy, would you start?
Thank you, Asetila. My name is Leroy Chinyangani. I'm a co-founder and the team lead at Neat Energy. At Neat Energy, we are scaling microgrids at the edge of the grid. One-liner.
Very good. Thank you, Leroy. Can you give the word to somebody else?
Achitra.
Hey, thank you. My name is Achitra. I'm the founder of BinBag. We simplify electronic waste recycling for businesses. Our primary customers are mid-sized to small businesses across India. Thank you. Gökmen.
Hello. My name is Gökmen. I'm here for Bulut'tan, weather intelligence and climate adaptation B2B service in EMEA. Thank you.
Next.
Well, I can go next. Hello, everybody. I'm Jose. I'm a key account manager for Toronto, a Mexican startup. What we do is we help companies through all their path to net zero carbon throughout mitigation strategies, setting SBTIs, and also with nature-based solution projects, carbon sequestration, water infiltration, and biological corridors.
Can you
yeah, the thing is, I don't okay. For example, Gaurav.
Sure. Thank you, Jose. So my name is Gaurav Agrawal, and I'm part of Cognitensor, based out of India. So at Cognitensor, we have a blueprint technology called Deep Optics, which we have built in-house to power automation, analytics, and artificial intelligence. In the sustainability tech space, we provide the decarbonization of digital assets. So things like data centers, cloud assets. How do we first of all measure the carbon footprint of these assets, and then give recommendations to minimize it, keeping in mind the quality of service. That's about me. Thank you. How about Gajendra, my colleague from Cognitensor?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Kajendra and I work with Cognitensor, as Guru told you. So we are into different industries. Along with the sustainability, we are working for energy, we are working for manufacturing, and we are working for education also with our deep optics technology. Okay, so I think Radha can be the next one. Radha Narendra.
Hi, thank you. So I'm Radha Narayan and I am representing Devikart. Ours is a green tech company which has a filterless pollution control solution to cover large areas. Our key target segments are industries, manufacturing sectors, and cities as well. Thank you. I think we have completed Desire. I think over to you.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, I'm Desire Masunda, co-founder and operations lead at Need Energy. We are scaling microgrids through AI. Yeah, one line, as they said.
I think, who is left? I think we are all, right?
I think we have completed.
It's completed,
Yes.
very good.
Yeah.
Well, very good. I think we have a great bouquet of ideas that want to save the world. So I'm very happy for that. Okay, let's start with customer discovery without losing time. So customer discovery, if you see it in the meta level, is a model developed by Steve Blank. And it includes these two big phases, the first phase of the search and the phase of the execution. And he means in the first startup search and companies execute. So first you have an idea and you figure it out. Are you building something people need and are willing to pay for? And then you do the validation. So the customer validation, are they really, is this really this problem solving real problems? And then if this, you validate the first part, then you go to the second part of the execution. And if the customer validation, you get replies from your customers, feedback that it's not the right problem, you are not solving it in the right way, they don't care, they're not interested, then you go back. This is this famous pivot. You go back to the customer discovery again. And then if you manage to get this part, then you go to the second part, to the execution part, and you stop being a startup. You are then a company. You start with the customer creation and company building. And then hopefully one day they say you'll become a unicorn. I don't believe much in unicorns, but that's fine. Now we'll try to see customer discovery, not from the meta floor, so like from the big picture, but from the smaller picture. Why do we do customer discovery? What do you think? I mean, you have been in the startup space. I saw your pitch decks. I've seen that you have been in the startup space for a while. You have most probably done it, but why do we do it again now? Why? What do you think?
I think it's very important to know who are you serving and who are you going behind, because otherwise to think and say that, I can solve the problem for everyone, anyone in the market, it's too difficult for a startup for the lack of resources, and also because your service is then never focused on solving a particular problem for a particular set of customers. That's why it's very important.
Very well. So let's say if you try to serve everybody, you are serving nobody.
Correct.
As a first one. Good. What else? Do you have another some other input from some other startup?
Well, if you don't
Sure.
discover any customer, you don't have any business. So
Good, but
it's
why are we
important.
doing it? Yes, but why are we doing it again now? Now you have done it already, most probably. You have You have traction, you are now in Berlin, but what we are doing it again? What do you think?
So we need to, in fact, to scale up. We need to reach more clients to prove the business model.
Very good.
If
Well,
I may pitch in,
yes.
Gaurav here. So, one more thing would be the product market fit, because, currently we are maybe more focused on our current geographies where we are based out of, but now we're entering new geographies. So, the product may be very good, but we need to make sure that it aligns well with the customer as well. It's, as you said, something they will appreciate.
Excellent. That's it. So the geography. So far you have been a startup in your country. Now you are 2 times a startup. What is a startup? So according to Dave McClure, a startup is a company that is confused about who its customers are, what its product is, and how are they going to make money. When you know these 3 things, you are not a startup anymore. You are a real business, right? So you have been working on these 3 points already in your geography, in your country, in your region. But now you are going to Germany, to Europe. So you are again a startup. I am also an internationalization consultant and export consultant. And I say also companies who want to export, they are again a startup in the foreign country, because you don't know who your customers are, your German customer, your Austrian, your Belgian, your Swedish customers are. What is your product for them and how to make money? So it starts again from scratch. That's why we are doing it again. So you are talking now totally to a new customer. That's why we do again customer discovery. And this customer, you have to reach him where he is, to solve his problems in his way, to find solutions that he makes, he cares and he's willing to pay for. So I would like to take this example. This is from Ash Myra, and I really like that he says, what customers you need, you have to figure out, and I like this representation. So he says you can have an and that pays $10 per month or per year. It's revenue per year, $10. But then you need to make a business of $10 million, for example, is that you need 10,000 ants. So 10,000 customers that pay you $10 a year. Or you need 1,000 mice that pay you $100 per year. Or you need 100 rabbits that pay you 1,000 per year. Or you need 10 deers that pay you 10,000 per year. Or you need an elephant that pays you 100,000 per year, right? So this is how he defines, or there is another example with a whale. The whale is even bigger, is one customer that does 1 million per year and so on. So now you should think yourself, well, can I realistically acquire 10,000 customers in 3 years in Germany? The end. So if I want to make this 10 million business, then I need 10,000 ants in 3 years. Can I do it in Germany? Let's start with this very pragmatic question. Or can I find 1,000 euro per year problem that is worth solving? So in the case of the rabbit. So can I find in Germany a problem that is 1,000 euros per year worth solving? And then I need 100 of them. So let's start with this starting point. Do you have questions so far?
No, all good.
If you have questions, just unmute yourself or raise your hand or whatever, just and let me know. Don't wait that I go very far. So we start with the business modeling. You have already done it. How many of you have done the lean canvas the last 6 months?
Yeah, we have done it in the last 6 months.
For your country?
Well, we have done it in general, I think, global.
In general. Well, now
I can look for it.
We will do a shorter version. We will only do the linear canvas. So the linear canvas involves only the customer segments and the problem. And we focus on German customers or German or European. Maybe it's Launchpad. So you start from Germany and then maybe it will be Sweden or maybe Denmark or Austria, but let's say you start with Germany. So I'd like you to start with customer segments on this part and then the problems. So I'd like to do it now as an exercise, very fast. You have done it. You are very clear with it, but I want that everybody does it for himself. Try to figure out 2 or 3 or 4 customer segments that you would like now to approach in Germany, and early adopters also under them. So to remind you again, you have done it, but what are customer segments? They are segments that are similar, that they have similar attributes, similar attitudes, similar budgets, or similar behaviors. And then in the lower part, we have the early adopters. And the early adopters have 5 things that are, they must have these 5 things in common. And these early adopters are also called the low-hanging fruits. And they are these people that if you have the product finished tomorrow, they'll be your first ones. And these are the 5 things they must have. Have a problem or a need. They know they have this problem or need, are actively looking for solutions, has put together solutions out of bits and parts, has or can acquire a budget. How do you segment your customers? Exactly like you have done in your country, but now you have to redefine them. And I have a simple way here to define them, to divide them. I take 2 values, value A and value B, and then I divide them into the first 4 early adopters segments. The early adopters could be geographics like country, city, language, area, climate, population, or could be demographics, age, gender, education, social status, family, life stage, or occupation. Or they can be psychographic, lifestyle, activity, interest, opinion, values, attitudes, and personality, or behavioral usage for work, for fun, for pleasure, purchase, online, offline, regular, once a month, user status, advanced, beginner, intermediate, intent, for improving, for work, for making life simple, cheaper, whatever. Right? So you figure out 4 of these and try to 2 big ones, and then try to figure out to make this segmented customers. Forget what you have done so far, because they could be similar, but started from scratch. And if you are in team, each of you does it for yourself, and then you merge them together, because then it's group thinking. So if one speaks, then the other one says, yes, it's true. Are you clear so far with the customer segments?
Yes, everything is clear.
Okay, so could you now, let's do like 5 minutes. Each of you tries to write at least 4 customer segments, either based on this or based on, you know the market better than I do, but try to figure out what they have similarities. And I can leave this slide here. I put 5 minutes, and please there try to figure out also early adopters. So 5 minutes starting from now. Good, 5 minutes. So homework is to figure out 4 customer segments, maximum 4. 2 are good, 3 is very good, 4 excellent, and then at least out of those 1 or 2 early adopters. 2 minutes to go. Okay. One minute to go. Time is up. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
How was it? Were they totally different from, did you have surprises totally different from those you have done so far in your country?
The thing, for example, in my case is that we are not selling to individuals, you know, so we don't have really a age, gender, or lifestyle. Maybe values, yes, depending on the company, but we are selling to companies, not to individuals. So
Okay, but you can do this for companies also. So you can do country, life, size, production, non-production, what other dimensions. So if you are B2B, you can also you can also segment them. But are they
Okay.
totally different from those in your country, the segment, or that is similar?
It's similar because we are very cross-sectional, let's say, in the sense that we can go to financial services, to manufacturing, to any industry that has a sustainability report or targets in their ESG. So it's pretty, yeah.
But also small companies would be your customers?
Yes, it will be customers, but maybe it will be the business will be smaller, you know. So it takes the same time to do this kind of business with even being a big project or a small project. So we are more focused on maybe big companies.
So you'd have more elephants than ants then?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Because small companies have 1 or 2 people and they don't have a person dedicated. On the other hand, they don't have the budgets maybe you charge, but on the other hand, they need more. So you have to find about how many ants, do you have ants or do you have elephants? And so see, in your case, it would be size of company, employees, turnover, reporting, credit. Companies who never get an ESG a loan, then maybe they don't need it. Or so startups. Very well.
Okay.
So you didn't have much surprise. Somebody has surprises?
Yeah, I have.
Very good. Who's talking? Can you say who's talking first? Because I don't see
Yeah, this is Chitra from Binbag.
Yeah, hi Achitra. So what did you have?
So it's completely different from what we do in the Indian market, right? In the Indian market, I mean, just to give you a background, we are a blend of hardware and software solutions focused on the SMB and mid-size market. But when I am looking at the German market, I think the early adopters or the one that I actually want to go after would be the large enterprises. Even there, I want to go to German enterprises who have maybe India offices, right? Because that way the head office and the local office talks the same thing, right? Say Siemens or a Bosch kind of company, right? These are the companies I want to go after. And on the software side, it's mostly on the tech companies who are offering, say, solutions and are looking for India entry, because in a country like India, you also need to have the infrastructure to offer a solution which collects the e-waste back from the companies, right? So we can provide that hardware to this kind of pure software or tech companies. So these are two completely new segments that kind of opened up as I put my thought on the customer in Germany.
Very well. And it looks to me, now we'll go on this deeper on Friday, but it looks to me that these what you just mentioned, this kind of segment is also your early adopter.
Exactly.
We guess now these are all also hypotheses we are doing today in the workshop.
Okay.
So the hypothesis
Yeah, like
would be that these companies have a problem or a need. So the problem might be they are entering to the Indian market, and then you define the problem. They are aware of having the problem. So most probably those who already entered once or they failed, because those who are totally new, they do not know that they say India is a country like every country. I have been in this country and this. You see, they have to know that they have this problem, or maybe they have started 5 months ago and they haven't yet started operations. Okay. They are actively looking for a solution. So they are actively looking to the lawyer that they talked in Delhi, to the bank they have asked, So you know from other people that they need such, or because there is this government policy or there's a new law that, or whatever, but they are looking for a solution actively. Has put together solutions out of bits and parts. So they have tried to solve it by hiring a local consultant, by having XY software, by having this or whatever, and they have money. Yes. See, so then we have to define. So this is very broad yet. We have still to go more deep, but kind of you figured it out. Or it could be that one of these are early adopters.
Right.
Very good. And then you can always go deep. You can say German companies who have already a company in India from 3 years, from 5 years, who's just started, who are producing, who are selling, who are exporting, re-importing. You can always go deeper. They have more than 1,000 employees. They have only 5 to 500 employees. They have expansion plans to China, to whatever. So you can always go deep.
Yeah. Which is why I kind of put it as an enterprise segment, but by enterprise, I mean, like you said, say 1,000+ people, right? At least $100 million kind of revenue in India. And because they also do ESG reporting in stricter regulated countries like Germany, they also want their Indian subsidiaries to be more compliant, right?
Exactly.
So that's the funnel I'm looking at.
Very good, because then it's like we will talk, I don't know, you have also classes on this, but most companies who source abroad in Europe, yet they only report scope 1 and scope 2. So scope 1 is own production, scope 2 is energy supply, and scope 3 is downstream and upstream, and they do not report it yet. But if they want to have the better, so then it changes it changes the segment, says companies who are, and it's voluntarily. So you have either company who are B Corp certified, companies who are claiming, maybe companies who are working mainly with state money, state funds or state procurement. See, so those would be the companies who do it voluntarily, and they want to have also their foreign operations production in scope 3 of ESG, then they want to have them also perfect. So these will be really then early adopters. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Let's go to the
Thank you.
second part. The second part is the problem. I'm rushing you, but we will have enough time with each of you to book my coaching next week and the week after. So we only go to this now a bit fast. We have only 1.5 hours, and then we'll go deeper later. But that's why I want to guide you here so we can figure out then later. So problems now. So we go on the other side of the lean canvas. We are doing only the leaner. What are the 3 main problems of these segments you figured out? The 3 top problems that your product or service is addressing for them. What is the job they are hiring you to do? So the job to be done. And then, very important, I know it's most of the time neglected down there, the existing alternatives. What is out there now? If the customer have to solve the problem now, what choices does he have? Also, do nothing is a choice. But there are other choices. There are more difficult, more expensive, cheaper, simpler. And there is the magic what happens, because only when you figure out what existing alternatives are and what is the, we'll see that later, what is the trigger for him to use these alternatives or not, then you can intrude in this space and then make your customer need your product, needs your service, but you have to understand him first. So what are the existing alternatives? These are the 2 very important, the 3 main problems for each segment. So if you figured out 4 segments on the right side, now you need 12 problems on this. Each of them 3 main problems, but problems your company could solve, could tackle, your startup, your idea, right? Not just any problem. So we'll do also here we'll do also here 5 minutes, and these are some thoughts. What are their greatest frustration related to this? What obstacles stand between the customers and the objectives aspiration? What risks can they be afraid to take? What do they want or need to get? How do they measure success? What are the strategies? And for those of you, I know that most of you have B2B customers, but don't forget, the company is an institution. So the company has goals, attitudes, they want to have success, aspirations. And second, very important, there is a person behind this company, the person who is buying. Companies do not buy, persons buy. And this person also has goals, aspirations, objectives. They are afraid to take this risk and so on and so forth. So you have 2 thoughts in your mind, the company and the person, the purchasing, the executive director, the managing director, the decision taker of this company. And if you have B2C, then is the own customer. The customer is the person who is using. Also, you should not forget, you have 2 types of customers. I think I forgot this at the other part. You have users and customers sometimes. So the difference is, let's say I will design now a private school here in Vienna. So I'm building a business of a private school. And I have to design the school for the children. It should be fun, it should be colorful, it should be easy, it should be not dangerous, stairs and all this and classes and but I have to convince parents to pay for it. That means customers are the parents and users are the pupils, the children. Sometimes you have this kind of customers, so keep it in mind. And they have different problems and they have different needs. And another thought here is your product, is it more of a vitamin product or more of an aspirin product? That means if I have headache, I have a pain, I take aspirin, a pill, a painkiller, and I need it fast, I need it now. And if I'm taking vitamins, although I should take vitamins with food and with fruits and vegetables, but when I take vitamin pills, it's more of a nice to have. I want to have nice nails or hair, or doctors told me I want to be healthier. So is your product more of an aspirin, so killing a fast pain now, or is it more of vitamin that is actually for the long term, but you have a higher hurdle to convince them to take it? Are there questions?
Yeah, I have a question. I think you
Please.
just an interesting concept, especially for users and customers. Pretty much most of us here are B2B,
Yes.
but does it also apply the same way to say our B2B, like the client that we find on the business end is our customer, but downstream they have users. So if we're selling a product to them, it has to fit in with the user experience downstream where they extend the service.
Yeah, both. You have to see. We have to see really concretely this. But yes, normally yes, you have both. You can have also B2B customers and users. So if I sell, wait, I tell you, if I sell a product to school, I teach entrepreneurship for young people, and I've always focused to have 50% girls in the class. For example, this class will never happen to me that I have only boys, right? Because I believe it's fair and it's rational and everything. So if I sell this class to a school, it's a school, it's a B2B. I will have a contract with them and everything, but the ministry will pay.
All right.
Or if I sell it, I do the same in prisons. So women who are in prison, they won't come out of prison, they will never get a job. They are unemployable. So actually, the problem has the employment office and the Ministry of Justice. Not really. The Ministry of Justice will allow me to go in the prison to have a contract, but the payment would be the state agency for employment, because they will pay these people a lot of money afterwards for the rest of their life if I make them employable or entrepreneurs. So I'll get paid from the office. They're totally different institutions. One is totally focused on job finding, and the ministry. So you see, I have two B2G and B2B, or you have the same constellation sometimes also in B2B. You just have to figure out who is paying for you, who needs it, and who is using it. If it's a solution for employees, companies pay, employees are using it, and so on. If it's a ESG reporting tool, maybe it's the bank, the user. The bank needs the ESG reporting to convince to give, but the company is paying for it. Or the regulatory, the ministry. I don't know who is it. We have to see. Maybe it's the ministry in India that doesn't allow German companies to come to enter if they do not have this. So you have the same thought. It depends on case to case, but we will see. Who was speaking? Was it Leroy?
Yes, it's Leroy.
Yeah, we can discuss the concrete case next week if you want.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, good. So 5 minutes for this. Let's try to get here as much as you can. If you don't get 12, doesn't matter, but let's try. 5 minutes here.
One question from my side, Gaurav here.
Please.
So when we spoke about the aspirin versus vitamin thought process, whether it's a good to have or a must have. So in the context of the German market, how permeable is this barrier? Would a solution be able to sit somewhere in the middle, or would the company or the customer look at it only from one point of view?
Well, these two are extremes. So it's nice to have, and there is a lot of space in between. But if the German company has, like in the case of, I think, Archita, that the German company is entering the Indian market and they have failed twice or 3 times, then for them is a pain. So they need a local company that does A, B, C, D, or a local software developer, or if they are just if they're just scouting and looking and maybe just working on Indian companies, they come to Germany and maybe they can, so the other way around, maybe in that case, it's not really a painkiller, it's nice to, I'd like to have Indian companies who come to Germany too, and that is nice to have. So, and there is a lot of space in between then. It don't have to be Indian companies, they could be also American companies that go to India, and it could be also Chinese companies that want to come. So you see, you have to, but you get 2 extremes of early adopters, and then you try to figure out in between these. So we can also look at this example concretely. We can brainstorm together next week.
Sure.
Very good. So, and my last thing is focus on the problem of the customer again. So not your solution, because we are biased. We are all the time biased. And I'll tell you a stupid example, but I really like this. So let's say there are almost 3 billion now people on Facebook, right? And these are people who, the first one are people who own dogs, and the second one, this pink one, people who own cats. They are huge, there is a huge community of people who own cats and dogs, so like around 1 billion people. Does it not make sense to build for them like a Facebook or a Tinder for the cats and for the dogs, or a social platform, because there are so many people? Yeah, maybe there are so many people, but the deepness of the cylinder is the pain they have. And And the pain is not really very deep to let the dog owners and dog cat owners to have a Tinder for their cats. So yeah, well, it would be nice, but not so much. But if you go on the other side, I'll take here another two communities. For example, this is the community of children or parents around the world that are also in Facebook that have children with impaired vision. Or if you go even deeper, autism children, the pain is very deep. So having a deep pain helps me, although the community is very small, so the target, the starting segment is very small, the pain is very deep, and they really want to solve it. So I would say not here when the pain is really to start. This is not the right moment to start, maybe later. So mainly here speaks about, this speaks more of a painkiller and this more of a vitamin. And then the last thought is there is a Zukunftsinstitut is a German agency, and they do a lot of publications. Now you are coming, this is only for B2C, but they have done a mapping of the citizens. They of 80 million citizens of Germany, they have done a mapping, and they have classified them. For example, see digital creative, neo-hippie, self-balancer, and so on. This is in German mainly. And if you see here, this is the target, the age group, so 14 to 80. And you see how many people are in this target group. I think this is for 3 years ago, but not much has changed. And you see if this target here is growing, so this is going up. How many people are in total? 2.8 million in the green part and 4.2 million in the other part. And this exists already. So you have to, I think some of them is to pay and some of them is for free. And so you can see where are the people located in Germany. And they have also put them, it's like personas or avatars or however you call them. And they have also put them an avatar to figure out how they are, how they behave, what they do. So there is a profile of them, how many are they, how do they buy, how they behave, and so on. So you don't start from scratch. There is, for Germany, there is this is a really good point, starting point. Good, let's do this 5 minutes now. And we'll do the rest next time. Two minutes to go. Okay, so time is up. So did you have surprises? Any of you had surprises? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we can.
And did you find out new things or totally new or existing?
Yeah, I think we found something that's quite different here. Since we are more of a company that wants to accelerate deployment of microgrids, so our adopt outlook like it sound like a company like a distributed system operator, right? We found out that probably their need right now in Europe is to decarbonize their energy supply. Right? This is something totally different in Africa. In Africa, you may need to accelerate energy access. Instead of saying fossils, or fossils plus renewables. But in this instance, that we feel that one of their needs, urgent needs, is to decarbonize their energy supply, and also coupled with fluctuating prices and all.
Very good. Yes, very good. We'll go into more details later, but next week. But for the moment, it's a good thought to start. Now it's very spooky, right? We sit here in a Zoom room. I sit here in Vienna, and you sit around, and we try to figure out the problems of the customers. Well, because we have worked a bit on them and we know them a bit, but we are not so sure. So everything we write down in this canvas or linear canvas or wherever we write is a hypothesis. So we hypothesize that they have this problem, these three burning problems, and then the next step would be to figure out what they really have, what they really want, what they really need, what are their really pains and gains and needs and so on. And now I would like to show you an example, but to start, they are not buying products. So most of us, we are convinced as entrepreneurs that our product is the best and is the cheapest and the fastest and the best code and whatever, but they don't care. Customers don't care. They don't buy products. They buy a promise of something better than the one exists now. So if I have a solution now and you promise something that is better than that, what I'm doing it now. Sometimes it's do nothing, and this is a very good representation of that of Ash Myra in his Running Lean book. And he says you have to do the customer discovery. So we had customer problem discovery now. So we figured out a problem or two or three, and then we have to validate it. So what is the job to get done? So the customer is here and he has to get here. And what is the triggering event? How does he change his mind to get the new one? And how does he get up there? And what existing alternatives are customer picking and why, if it's not yours? And his method says you start with a business model design. So the lean canvas, we did only the two side parts, but we did the leaner canvas, but you have to try to do it the full one for this new customer segment. And actually for each of them, you should do a new one and then understand the problem of the customer. So what is the triggering point? Define a solution. How might it look to solve this problem? Prepare an offer, test offer, and then build an MVP. So yeah, most probably you have an MVP because you have been working on that, but it should be then a tweaked MVP for the German market. So let's start with a simple example. This is a bit drill. So battery, wireless, whatever. What do you think? What is the job to be done that the customer buys this for? And who is the customer actually for this one?
The customer is a home tinkerer, somebody who loves to do like a DIY, do-it-yourself kind of guy. And he wants to make a precise hole. That's it.
So DIY guy or girl? Women do it also?
I mean, do it yourself. I'm sorry, I use the word guy. Yeah.
All good, all good. And they want to do a precise hole. Well, good. Other opinions?
It could be someone. Oh, sorry. Please do go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to mention, like our customers here in Egypt is a vegan, or the people who wanted to be vegan, to eat like vegan meals. So we are selling a mushroom, and the problem here in Egypt is that there is no big quantity of mushroom to serve all of the vegans in Cairo itself. So if I am talking to Germany, I found by a research in that workshop that there are many mushroom products in Germany, but many of them are imported from outside, from other European Union countries. So I think if it's a right question, that my customer here is the one who suffer from the price, not that he don't found the product, but he found it, but by a big price. So I would give him an alternative by producing that product in a local way on the coffee grounds or the spent coffee grounds, because I'm using the spent coffee grounds to produce mushroom. So that's what my question. Maybe the problem related to the price, not about the availability or about that it's a new product or solving like a new product, a new problem.
Okay, we can meet next week and discuss this, because I don't know now if the customer for you in Germany would be the mushroom buyers, the vegan, or there would be mushroom growers, and you give them a franchise model with coffee grounds, with this,
Yes,
with a
maybe.
blueprint formula. But we'll discuss this together in
Yes,
the one if
that's
you want.
good.
But
That's
at the
good.
moment, I just want to do this exercise. I mean, I'll try to be, I have enough time, but I know that you have planned, you have other things we have in half an hour left. I'd like to focus on this drill. What is the customer for this? So do I DIY, so homeowners, practically not construction workers. And the problem is the hole. Somebody else has another opinion?
I was saying, this is Gaurav here from Cognitensor. I was saying it could also be someone, who has an art gallery or does art exhibition. So very often they have to drill hole to hang the painting or other artifacts.
Okay, so from the hole, we now drill a hole, hang a painting. So we moved a bit. So the job to be done is to hang a painting. The first job to be done was drill a hole. Well, let's see. The customer. So like you said, we have two types. We have many types, but we focus on two big segments. So we could have homeowners or construction workers. And like you said before, right? Actually, this type of one with a battery, the smaller one is more for homeowners, DIY people. So let's stick to the homeowners. The job to get done is to make a hole, you said, right?
Yes,
Or, yeah, sorry. So the job to get done is to make a hole, or to hang a hook. So
yes.
I go to the shop and I buy a expensive driller with a electro whatever battery to drill a hole. That's what I need, right? Or to hang a hook. Well, we have to go a bit further in the thinking. Theodore Levitt is a professor at Stanford, and he says people don't buy a 1/4 inch drill, they want to buy a 1/4 inch hole. This is an old thought. My opinion is I go further. They don't want a 1/4 inch hole. They don't want to hang a hook. Actually, they want to hang a painting. So I buy a drill because I want to hang a painting. Simple, easy, and on my own. Not that I have to invite somebody, that I pay for this and blah, blah. And if I go a bit further, I want to have a cozy home. I want to hang, why do I hang paintings in my wall? Because I want to have a cozy home. I want to feel and live in a decent way. I want to feel good in my home. Otherwise I would not hang paintings. I would hang nothing. I'd keep it white, right? So now the question we have to think is, in this case, this is a very simple case. Can you help customers get the job done? For example, in this case, to hang a painting without the undesired steps like drilling holes and using hooks. So is there another way? And this is the real innovative question. What do you think?
One way could be the industrial strength double-sided tape or something like that, which eliminates the use of holes entirely.
Very well. And this, exactly the same thought had one of the most innovative companies proclaimed, the 3M. The 3M said, we go further than this. The customer doesn't need a hole, doesn't need a hook. The customer needs to hang a picture. And then we can do it. No drilling, no hole, no mess. Hanging it easier and cheaper than ever before. And they invented these hooks, this what you say. So try to focus on making your customer and her life better versus making your product better. So the drills have existed for many years, and they were simplified and lightweighted and without cable and wireless and la. But actually, for the painting hanging, the 3M made it better than the existing solutions. Simpler, easier, cheaper. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So, since I studied marketing, the example of the hole was all the time used, right? And I always thought, okay, well, I need it for another thing. I don't need just for the painting. But actually we don't. We also have one. My husband had to buy it, and this is how it triggered me. And then I went a bit further thinking, and it's like the 3M. I only use the 3Ms now. I don't have any more drillers. I don't even need it. So, and this is a super example to show. Just think out of the box. Focus on the problem. Solve that problem better than anyone else, cheaper than anyone else, and solve it faster, and try to understand what else is in the market. So chasing desirable outcomes is how you move out of the product context space into the bigger context. So the bigger context is simplifying the life of customers with picture hanging and not drilling holes.
Don't you think these are, sorry, can I have a quick question?
Yes, sure, please.
Yeah, like you were also saying, I mean, don't you think these are two separate set of customers in a way that the person who needs the drill, right? For many other reasons than just hanging the painting. But so it could be, fixing, say, 2 plies of wood and, putting drilling those 2 plies of wood together. But for the painting, it's, I mean, a 3M can also do.
Yeah,
So,
well, sure, but they when the 3M did the development of this product, of this new product, they did not focus on the person with the wood, because they have another product for the wood. They have also glues for the wood, whatever.
Okay.
But but they focused on the hole, on the hook, on the painting hanging, and they said, this customer has and they have okay, this is a longer exercise. They have evaluated and analyzed this customer very well. These are city living customers, small apartments. These drills cost between 70 euros and 300 euros, right?
Okay.
So and the 3M tapes cost 4 or 5.
Yeah, and plus maybe once you make the hole, it's a permanent thing, right? You make the hole in the wall, while the tapes are more
and
temporary.
the other problem depends which customer they analyzed. But in us, I live in Vienna. I cannot make drills bigger than I should ask to my landlord. If I'm renting the apartment, I have to ask my landlord to do holes. Or if I do not ask him, when I leave the apartment, I have to close all the holes.
Yes.
You see?
So that's more permanent.
This is not everywhere. I know I have lived in another country and you didn't care. You can do anything. Nobody cared. But here, you cannot make substantial changes. You cannot drill at night. You cannot drill at day. You cannot, some apartments, you cannot even drill at all because they are concrete. So they figured out other problems when they designed the 3M. I was just trying to give the context, the problem of the context.
Yeah, yes.
Good.
Yes.
So now we'll go back to the next one, customer interview. So how we figure out these things? See, so we are talking about they did the customer interviews. They asked the customers really what do they need? Did they really need a hole, a hook, a painting hanged, or a painting hanged? And how did that work? So they understood deeper the problem. And this is what we say in all the literature, and the gurus and everybody says, you have to talk to the customers. And the customers, normally the founder, at your stage, the founder should talk to the customers. You should, I know they are agencies and you can delegate it and all this, but the founder, because you should understand if the problem is real. And Steve Blank goes further than this and says, you have to talk to them face to face, actually. In COVID, he changed it a bit, but said you have to see if their eyes dilate and their pupils dilate when you show them, when you talk about their problem, and at the end you tell them that you have this, that they really need it. So you have to understand how big is the problem only by talking to them. So why? and again, I want to make a connection to the past. So in the past, it was very expensive to produce new products. So only a few people, a few companies could produce big good products, be them software, hardware, or also manufactured products. And the old methodology was the waterfall methodology. It was build a product, make a demonstration to the customer, and try to sell it through very expensive marketing. We are startups. We don't have the marketing money. We are not Nike and Adidas and whoever to pull these products, even if they fail with expensive marketings. And the present is sell, demo, build. So you try to sell it to the customers. So you try to understand their needs and try to sell this idea, demonstrate it, how it works, and then build it. And in this methodology, we have to do the interviews before. So the best, all the literature will tell you that the best way is to do face-to-face. I know a lot of startups I coach, they try a service and they try also focus groups. Well, yeah, services are good for some point, but when you do service, you assume that you know all the right questions to ask. And you also assume that you have the right answers when you get them. So if you ask questions, you get the right answers. And in focus groups, the mistake is that you have group thinking. So if you have a group of 15 people or 10 or even 5 that are talking about the topic, only those who are the vocal minority, we call the ones who dare to talk first, say, I think this is not good. And the others will not dare to speak after. So you have this group thinking. So you'll not get from all the 5 people or the 15 the real attitude. So only when you do one-to-one. And how many interviews should you do? Well, it depends. There are people who say 40, 50, 60, 10. I'd say when you start asking 10 to 15, you start seeing patterns on the behavior, patterns on the problem of the customers. You are done when you know, when you are talking to the 15th customer or 20th, and you know what they are going to answer, then you don't get any more new information, then you should stop. And it is around 2030. So then you should stop because you say, hey, I know all this, I'm not getting new information, so I am clear. Some people say, well, statistically is insignificant 10 or 20 replies. Eric Ries from the Lean Startup, he says, well, when 10 out of 10 people say they don't want your product, that is statistically significant. So yeah. Then if you remember the first sentence, the first picture I showed you, then you are the validation, you go back and pivot. So if 10 out of 10, so you get a feedback very early and then you go and do something else. Steve Land say, get out of the building. There are no facts in the building. That means what are we doing now? So we are sitting all in our offices or homes or wherever in our computer, and we're trying to hypothesize what are the problems of the customer. Get out of the building and talk to the customers because there are no facts in the building. That's what he means. So you have to talk to them. So conducting interviews, you will be conducting interviews in Germany. It will be not easy. Most probably in your country is much easier, but I know that you'll get all the support of the Berlin. That's why you are in the program, Berlin landing pad, to get contacts, to get introductions to the customers or potential customers you need. I have some tips here. I think you should outsource at least the scheduling, the language, the time. So you should get a person who does the scheduling of your interviews, either when you do it when you are in Germany, you'll be in Germany somewhere in March, or now if you do it in Zoom. And this helps you because of language or barriers or because of time. So you cannot, so if you find somebody in Germany that does it for you, you should do face-to-face interviews. If you do it face-to-face, then pick a natural location. Don't go to their office or go to a cafe or go to a co-working space and not in your office. Ask for sufficient time. So ask for an hour if you are planning to have 45 minutes, because if you say half an hour and you are not finished, then it's not good. It's good to go 2 people. I always do them in 2 pairs. So I go with my partner or business partner, and one does the interview, the other one take notes. If you can record it, if it's possible, you have to ask them, can we record it? And you should record it because it helps you afterwards. Ask questions, do not make assertions, and don't pitch your product all the time. There is a super method called Mama Test, the mom test. From Fitzpatrick. If you can, there are videos, there are TED Talk, a book. So if you can read it before and try to understand, he gives this is the methodology how even your mother cannot lie about it. Because the thing is, you'll be working in this product if you decide to go to Germany, the next 3-4 years. And if you are wrong from the start, because somebody says, well, it's a good idea, you are a good boy or girl, and nobody will tell you your baby is ugly. Nobody will tell you, because people are nice. And if you ask wrong questions, if you pitch, they will tend to tell you, yes, well, I'll buy, but then nobody will buy. So like Eric Ries says, it doesn't make sense to have the best code in the world if nobody downloads your product, or if they download it, they never use it. So you get these answers first. Record the interview and recreate the time of events. Use a meta script. So use a meta script that have a kind of, all interview partners are different, but you should have a script that, a basic script. So what are the directions to go? And if you want to see, there is a script in the Aschmeyer book, Running Lean, in page 234 in chapter 8, I think. And also the Startup Owner's Manual. These are the 2 books I recommend you hardly. It's also the literature at the end of the PowerPoint. These are the 2 books I really suggest you to read. So the Customer Discovery, the Startup Owner's Manual for Steve Blank, and Running Lean from Aschmeyer. If you just choose to read 2 books, and both of them, they have also custom interviews, scripts. They have a lot of tips and tricks how to do it. And so, yeah, I think you should follow this. And afterwards, you'll do 15 interviews, you'll forget it. So my tip will be immediately after you do the interview, you should summarize them. And there is a canvas called Customer Forces Canvas. Well, I think somebody raised their hand. Wait a second, stop. Who raised the hand?
Me,
Yes,
Asetila. It's
Yes.
Jose. I
Okay.
just was wondering, the line between a survey and an interview is very thin, no? You said that in a survey you are assuming you know the answer, but
Yeah.
what if you do the same questions as in an interview, you know? It's
But in the survey, I mean the one sent per Google Forms or Airtable or Monkey, whatever. So you send a document, and either you have to have open questions, and normally we know that people don't take so much time to answer, or you put A, B, C, D, multiple choice. And I see most of the time people answer other. So you have A, B, C, D, and other. And people answer other. That means you don't know the answer, the correct question, and you do not get anything in the other. It could be anything.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you have no other way, of course, there is, but now you're going, I see it's a lot of money and a lot of time you'll invest to enter Germany. Don't forget, Germany is the country everybody wants to work with, to sell to buy from quality, from price, from GDP, from HDI index, from everything, you know. So you are not alone. There are, like you, a couple of other 100,000 people that want to sell these products in Germany, especially trying to get it like with the launchpad, the Berlin launchpad, right? And they have been trying in the past. And so if you want to sell to the European market, 500 million wealthy customers, 500 million wealthy customers, it's a huge piece of market. Germany would be great to start. And now you'll come to Germany, you'll spend a lot of time and money, 3 years, without knowing the right problematics, you know. That's why I'm trying to only save time. So yeah, service is okay, but it's not okay to sit there it's okay for students, it's okay for social research. I am an educator. I work at universities and my students do all the time service. But for this, I think it's too much at stake.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Good. Also for your own market, you'll sit also in your own country 3, 4, 5 years. And I see every day startups after 5 years, they decide to quit because they are solving the wrong problem, or because they are solving not at the right time, or they didn't get the right feedback, or they skip this customer. I keep talking about Steve Blank because I teach with him, and you know what he does in his class, in this Lean Launchpad? 5 days only. You have to ask every day. We do a boot camp. 5 days, you have to ask every day 15 customers. Students have to ask 15. And every day they have to learning. Here's what we assumed. Here's what we learned. Here's what we were wrong. And do again customer hypothesis. And again, in 5 days in a row. He says you should do it in 5 weeks. Get all the insights. And most startups skip this part. That's why I emphasize it all the time. It's so important. Even if you get public money, you sit 5 years just on the wrong problem, on the wrong solution, on the wrong attitude and approach. Good. So the customer forces canvas is what I say to capture insight. So immediately after the interviews, you should, if you are two people, the both of you should fill one of these, and everything what you got from the customers. I will put also a link here where you can download it. It's from the book. I mean, if you buy the book, you get the links, but if you don't buy the books, you don't get the links. So I'll put the link here. It's Run Lean LY resources. I'll put it in the chat, and you can download it there. Also the explanation. It's runlean.ly.resources. So here we go. No, sorry, this run is wrong. Run Lean is this autocorrect. Run Lean. .ly/. Sources. Here we go. So Run Lean. So you should fill this customer forces canvas, and you have the push of the customer. So what is pushing it to come to the desired outcome, triggering events, switching triggers, what's at stake. The pull, consideration set, choose a solution, unique value proposition, and expected outcome. And then the inertia. The inertia is here. If you see, so inertia is this part here that goes down again. What's been broken, barriers to switching. Then the friction, anxieties, barriers to adoption, additional details, if any, actual outcome next summit. And you, if you are two people doing it, both of you, you sit and fill it. And after you have done 10 or 15 of these, you try to understand, and now you start seeing patterns of customers on their problem, on their nice job to get done, and how they are dealing till now. Here is also the customer. When you make the question, you try to understand the customer timeline. So what is the first thought? So what is it about maybe SG reporting, or maybe losing weight, or opening a business? What is the triggering event? Somebody said you are fat, or the dress didn't fit to you, or you're going to a wedding if it's losing weight. And then the consideration, what is the consideration you have to change it, and so on. So acquisition, activation, retention, job to get done. So all this you get on the website I send you. Also to download the customer timeline, or is in the book of Running Lean. Well, I'm trying to rush now because the time is going. I would like to have some question and answers at the end. Build solutions that are worth building. So to sum it up, I am a sustainability consultant. I am an impact entrepreneur, and I'd like to talk about this from the beginning. We can build, or let's put it like this. If you see the businesses that have existed in the 1970s, 50% of them don't exist today anymore. And if we try to project the future, 50% of the businesses that exist today will not exist in 2050. Only those businesses will exist that balance profit and impact. And sustainability, everybody's talking about sustainability, and most people mean just simple greenwashing or CSR or whatever. My thought is sustainability is not about how you spend your money, but how you make your money. So if you spend money having little children working around the world for your products so they are cheaper, and you build two orphanages somewhere in Europe, that's not the CSR. You might get a super CSR badge and blood, but this is not how it works. So people, planet, and profits. The old view, driven by Homo economicus, was profit over people, and there are no profits over people. I have also tried to make a visual matrix of how it is. So if you are only here, so we have doing impact in the X and doing well in the profit in the Y. And the first one, the wanderers, are companies who are neither doing good impact nor doing well financially. So these are the people who everybody's wondering, why are they still in the business? Then there are the good companies doing doing impact but not doing profit, and it's derogative tree huggers, but these are these companies who they have to move up, or they will also be out of market soon. Then we have the earth saboteurs, so like the coal industry and other fossil fuels and who are doing only profit and no impact. So either they have to move on the right, or they'll also be out of business soon. And then we have these outstanding companies who are doing well and profit, and they're balancing each other. When you'll have chance to be in Berlin, I hope you can visit Ecosia. I use Ecosia since 4 years, and I really like it. And Berlin is the center of impact entrepreneurship. So look at them from close. We have to build not the future of this economy, because people are talking about the future of this economy, and this is broken anyhow. So I think we have to focus on the economy of the future that is just, and that is fair, and that is for everyone, and resilient for everyone. So, and to close, your unfair advantages also, I mean, there are so much opportunities for you to be in Germany, to be in Europe, but your unfair advantage will be the speed of learning. So you have to outlearn the competition, existing alternatives, build what customer want, and develop your business model further from what you have now. Don't love your solution, love the problem of your customer. I think I'm done. You have at the end here the resources, the books I have put in that I suggest you to read, but the first two, I really think you should, if you haven't read yet, read and consult. They will help you all the way, and then the others also. So do you have questions or remarks or feedback?
Or for the session we're gonna have next week, you want us to prepare a little bit the canvas or something like that?
Yeah,
do some pre-work?
The first one will be also to get to know closer each other.
Okay.
I got the pitches and to try to see how can I help you. But it will be great if you can do the link canvas. If you can do a link canvas, at least for the basic one, because that will be the basic document you will have to do the validation upon. So every box in the link canvas is a hypothesis. It's a hypothesis with the problem of your customer, the market size, you don't know, and you have to invest a lot of research now. It's really a foreign market. And believe me, when big companies like Adidas, or I don't know, I'm talking all the time about Adidas, but Mercedes, and they go to a foreign country, they do extensive research, but they have all the departments of marketing, of human resources that they need, and strategic and blah, blah. You are a startup doing the opposite process. You have super wind in your back because Berlin London partner and Impact and Berlin partner, they are supporting you, but you have to do huge amounts of research and huge amounts of validation. So it's a lot of work with you. So we can work piece by piece. What is the next? I hope that you come every time to my coaching sessions or mentoring, whatever they're called, with one problematic, and we try to solve. But the link canvas would be a great start.
Okay.
You'll have so many, and please, you have so many mentors and so many experts. I have seen all of them. They are super cool people, and we do it for fun. We do it because we really mean it. So you have to use us, use our network, use our superpowers, use our knowledge, and then of course you have to do the work yourself, but use us. Don't be shy. Don't be like, I don't know if they have. We are here to help, and if we can, we'll do it with love.
Perfect. Thanks.
Do you have another question or report or remarks or feedback?
Contact slide.
On what?
You have a contact slide, contact details slide.
Yes, sure. Here I have it here. So you got from Shira and from Will my Calendly for next week.
Yep.
I have started actually with Achitra. I'm doing this week also one, but next week I have full days from 11 to 2:45 Central European time, so that I'm trying to fit all time zones. We always talk Central European time, so now is here. Now it's here 10:52, so 11 morning, and try to fit in the calendar. You'll see automatically where you are, and then I'll also come to Berlin at the end in March, I think, we'll see also in Berlin at the end. But in the meantime, use me, use all the mentors, all the coaches for specific points you have. And
Yeah, thank you so much, Asetila. I think this was a wonderful session. Give us many good insights. One issue I would have is somehow the link is not working in the chat that you shared, the run lean lead slash resources.
It's not working?
Yeah, is it
No,
only
you
for
just need
me?
to copy and paste, Gaurav. I checked, it's working fine.
I mean, the first one is wrong. I because the autocorrect. Let me try it here.
No, this runlane.ly slash resources, that works.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I was trying the wrong one, right?
Here.
Okay,
Yeah, the first
perfect.
one was wrong because of the autocorrect. Okay, well, if you don't have other questions, I'd like to stop in time. Please, each of you give me one flashlight, we call. What do you, one thing you learned from today, one thing you took with you, one thing we should improve, wherever, one thought, each of you. I start with Jose. Jose.
Yep. Which thought which thought you wanted?
One good thought, one feedback thought, whatever, what thing you learned, flashlight.
Here I learned that it's very important to target your clients. Like it's not the same where we're targeting, for example, in US, that what we will target in Germany. That is very important to understand each market itself, because as you said, sometimes we start the house from the roof. It's what we say in Spanish, and we need to start from the bottom. So yeah, it was really cool to know that.
Thank you. Achitra?
Yeah, so I think this session was definitely useful for me in terms of, thinking through the customer segment, because, you kind of think, and you have a broad idea, but the moment you ask me to kind of put it down on paper and say, who is it that you are going behind? Who is it that are the low-hanging fruits? So that part was very useful for me. And something fun that I learned was about the drill, which is that, when you think of hanging a painting, that your solution completely differs from the drill to, tape. So thank you. Thank you very much. I enjoyed your session, and I look forward for our Friday talk.
Thank you. Gaurav? I'm just taking one each of you that you are in the row. So after that, how you are aligned in the Zoom.
Right, sure. Thank you so much, Asetila. And yeah, I really did enjoy today's session. One thing I think I learned is that you suggested when we're doing the customer interview, we should pick a neutral location, because in India, generally the trend is we either go to the customer office or we invite them to our office. So I guess this is one cultural difference that we can keep in mind, that we should try for a neutral location like a cafe or something. So that was really interesting to note, and thoroughly enjoyed the session. Really interactive and informative. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Then after is let me see. Okay, I think there were changed. I think Leroy is next, but the row was changed.
Thank you so much, Asetila. I think my biggest takeaway from this is customer discovery happens pretty much every time. One, if you're thinking of pivoting. Secondly, if you're entering new markets, because what you're used to from your previous market is totally not the same assumption or the same hypothesis for your next market. And lastly, that you should love your customers' problems rather than your solution. I think most startup founders have a bias of loving most of their solution rather than the customer's problem.
Thank you. So I don't know now who's next, because now I have another, but just give the word to somebody, Leroy.
Also, I think I'll be doing the same thing you are doing. That means Mazi.
Okay, yeah, I totally enjoyed this session, and it called for the importance for us to be able to do a lot of research, to be able to understand the market just not just the customer, but also what you are bringing to the table that is different and attractive for them to be able to seek you out, especially in a very competitive environment that we are in. So it was quite an expository and insightful session, and well, I'm looking forward to the one-on-one section with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I don't know, Radha?
Yeah, hello. So I think the session was very insightful for me to be able to understand, look at the problem from the customer perspective and not just try to fit the problem statement based on the solution or the product that we feel we have. So, and that is going to help us also to be able to better assess the market conditions for us to enter new territories in this particular context, be it Germany or Europe. So I think that was my key takeaway, and I think it was a very well laid out presentation. So thank you very much, Asetila.
Thank you. Who's next? I don't know now. Just somebody who wants. Emmanuel, I think.
I'll go. So I learned more about discovering the customer, understanding their pain points, and going in depth into their needs, especially when entering a new market like Europe. Because if you don't really understand what they really want, and you think like because you already know your customers in your country, so you are going to implement the same thing in another geographical area, it's going to be a bit of a challenge to you. So instead of just transferring what you already have in your country, put that aside, understand the customer, talk to them, go in depth with them, and structure a new approach alongside with them. So that was what I got.
Perfect, thanks. Okay, who's not been?
Maybe I can go on.
Please.
Firstly, thanks for the session. Second thing that I'm so interested for the one-to-one session with you, Abdurrahman, and I with you to ask you about more details related to the customer segment, related to the mushroom, if they are the mushroom growers, the mushroom customers. But the session was very interesting, and it gave us like many details related to the theme, how we can really calculate the customer segment. And maybe it's gonna to be more easy in a country like Germany because there are many data and there are regulations and organized landscape more than here in Egypt. Because here, if we wanted to discover the customer segment, we need to go into streets and make surveys and make like many trials to know who is the right customer. So thank you for that.
Thanks to you. Who's still wants to? I don't know. I think everybody has been.
Yeah, hi, Gajendra this side.
Okay.
So yeah, so my biggest take for this session was like, as you said, customer don't buy product, they buy a promise for something better. So I think we need to focus on the solution which is worth for, and we have to keep our promise. This is what I have understood from your point of view.
Yes. Perfect.
So thank you so much for your session and for your time. It was a great session.
Thank you. Then looking forward to see you all. I think has everybody shared? Let's see the full picture now.
Yes, we did.
I think so, right? Yes. Flora and Will. Hi, Flora and Will. Well, okay. I thank you so much. I really liked your working with together. I hope we will enjoy also in the private one-to-one sessions, and see you soon then in Berlin.
Please make sure to fill out the feedback surveys. I've shared them in the chat. I will also post them on Slack. I've also shared the link to the drive where you will find Asetila's slides. She will upload them afterwards. And later on, we will also share the recording of this session. So watch out for the Slack channel. Thank you, Asetila. Thank you to everyone. And make sure to sign up for her coaching sessions. See you all very soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye.